welcome to We Never Met, the podcast where I have an interesting stranger that I've never met before on. Today we have Josh. I don't know your last name, actually.
Arter.
There we go.
Hey.
How you doing? You are responsible, we were just chatting before, but significantly for 8-bit MKE, which is, to be honest, I don't really even know what does 8-bit stand for?
So it's kind of like the retro Mario, like 8-bit pixelated pixel art.
Okay.
I think the processor in the Game Boy Color is like an 8-bit processor, so I was like 8-bit MKE.
And you so you go around and take photos with essentially a Game Boy camera is it a Game Boy you've always had, or did you it's actually my wife hates this, but I have, I don't know, probably like 4 Game Boys, 5 Game Boys. Oh, yeah, I do too. I have 3, I think. I don't know why.
I don't know. It's like the one that I used to take pictures. It's one that I've had since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been like a video game nerd.
Yeah.
And I've got an N64, Super Nintendo, Game Boys.
N64.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I had like a Sega Game Gear when I was a kid.
Is that the really old Sega?
Yeah, it takes like 8 batteries. It's not like
it doesn't even run on like AC power.
No.
I think I do. Is it kind of chunky and black, and has
black
a
and
big
like
screen,
like 1.5 feet wide almost.
Yeah. It's like a sub.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I think I used to have one of those. We had to tape the back on to keep the batteries from falling out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was bad. But like, so you go around, take pictures. You kind of amass like a pretty big following, I'd say, for this, and you've been on TV surprised. For it,
dude. Yeah, so it's like I've always been into video games, video game culture.
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as a creative person.
Yeah.
So used to be, still am, not even used to be, but into photography.
Sure.
I've got a Nikon, some lenses, all of that stuff. And I was like in the process of really wanting to get into black and white photography or even like film photography.
Sure.
And one way or the other, I just found this like internet cult following for the Game Boy Camera.
And I was wondering like where the idea even came from, like at first.
Dude, it's crazy. There is this like weird cult following for Game Boy cameras,
specifically Game Boy.
Yeah, it's the
That's
weirdest
crazy.
thing. And so a lot of people are just out there taking pictures with this Game Boy camera, and I was like, oh man, that's crazy, because it was like from the 90s, and I remember like hearing about it and like the Game Boy printer and all that stuff.
They did have that. Do you have that with your camera now?
No, but I have some projects in the works, and I am on the hunt for one. Yeah. I'm always like crawling.
Are they
eBay.
hard to find?
They're not hard to find, but it's basically like a glorified receipt printer. So there's no ink, which is nice, but it's like a thermal printer.
Yeah.
And because they're so old, a lot of them, like the thermal head's worn out, and so the print is like super faded, or you can see like essentially scan lines where it like prints a line, prints a line, prints a line. So
yeah. So it's finding a good one is hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're like $30.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So you just go around. Is there a specific? Because I have to imagine that shooting with a Game Boy like camera, like the pixelation and stuff. There's got to be some stuff that you can't shoot, or some stuff that like looks bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is tough. It's pretty crazy, but you can like kind of adjust the contrast and like, brightness on the Game Boy.
Wow.
So you can have a little leeway there, but there are times where I'll go out and shoot stuff, and then like half an hour later when I'm looking through it, I'm like, what am I looking at? I just took this picture, but like, what is this?
Yeah. So I guess shooting on the Game Boy, and then do you get to edit those photos at all, or do you just kind of post up what you get?
So the process I have, like when I first started this project, I was taking pictures like pretty much a year ago to date. It was like December last year. And the way to get pictures off, like one of the ways is like with all these different cables and like a really hacky program then like the program only runs on like Windows 98.
So you have to get a new old computer.
So I was like calling my friends. I was like, "Do you guys still have like big like tower computers?" I was trying to use like virtual desktops and all this stuff, and I couldn't get it to work. I tried forever, and like had these pictures, couldn't get them, and so my Game Boy sat for like 2-3 years. And so it holds 30 pictures. I had these pictures on there. Yeah. And it just sat. Like I couldn't get them off. Yeah. And it was like, okay, well, that was kind of a bust. And then, again, just like very randomly was looking up different ways to get pictures off. I was like, it's been a while. I'm sure somebody has figured out an easier way. Yeah. And a lot of people now are making... basically, they take like an Arduino chip, like a Raspberry Pi. Have you heard of that? It's like I think it's touted as like the world's smallest computer. It's like this tiny little chip, and you can code it. Like whatever you want, you can code onto it, and it's like a computer. So
way over my head,
right?
But
so I was like looking into it, and basically, a couple guys were taking these chips and coding them to emulate what a Game Boy printer would do. Oh. So they then 3D print these little boxes. Yeah. And so it basically tricks the Game Boy into thinking that it's printing off to a printer, but it's actually saving them to an SD card. Oh. And so then bang into the computer. That's that. Like, there you go. They come out as like bitmap files. So I blow them up when they like originally come off. I think the file size is like 1 inch by 1 inch, like super tiny. Yeah. So I blow them up, turn them into PNGs or JPEGs or whatever. Yeah. And then sometimes, like when they first come off, they have a border around it that's like Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy or whatever. Yeah. So sometimes I leave that on, sometimes I crop it off. But
so originally, when you started deciding to do this, why did you decide to do it with a Game Boy camera specifically? I know you said the cult following, but like you personally, like going around with a Game Boy, because that's a commitment,
I think what it is I was looking to get like back into film, and the Game Boy camera is like a weird mix of digital photography and like this like disposable camera idea. Sure, yeah. The cartridge can only hold 30 pictures. Yeah. So, I mean, like, as you take them, you can delete them. So you still have that, digital camera feel where I see what I'm taking. If I don't like it, I can delete it. Yeah. But at some point, you're going to fill up, and you're going to have to dump those. And start. So it's like a weird, I have to be thoughtful. I have to pick. Be a little choosy when I'm taking these pictures. Yeah, and I know, because we were talking about, I saw you did a video with MKE Misfits, which is I don't even know what they're specifically called, but they're like a marketing everything. They just got business space, so it's like a bunch of creative guys who are just committed to making cool stuff. Yeah, and on there you said something about how it's about like creating with anything pretty much, or like you don't need a fancy camera to do that. Is that something that you kind of live by? I do. I mean, like I said, in my spare time, I DJ, I make beats and stuff. And even with this like photography project, it's like you can have this incredible studio, this incredible camera gear, and get really cool stuff. But at the same time, like you can go on eBay right now and get a Game Boy camera for like $10-15. Yeah. And you can start creating. And it's cool. I think it's like, it's challenging. Everybody in their pocket with their smartphone has like a decently nice camera on them at all times that you could snap some great pictures with. Yeah. So it is just kind of that challenge, and really going back to like composition and really thinking about what goes into making a picture. So I'm kind of on that same thought process. So let's talk about the beats and being a DJ and stuff, because that's something I never would have known. Yeah. So I guess, do you go to like nightclubs and stuff and like do sets, or like how does that work? I used to do a lot when I was in college. I would like do bars and house parties and all that stuff. Yeah. But now that I've like grown up, it's like a lot of like private events, weddings, that kind of thing.
And as far as the beats, do you sell those to people or like do you give those to people?
Yeah, dude. So I like started making beats probably, I don't know, like 10 plus years ago. And at first it was just like something to do.
Yeah.
I was in a band, and so I like played the drums. I have like a sense of rhythm, sense of like melody, music, all that. And I just started messing around, and it was, I don't know, it was like the summer between my freshman and sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
I had a couple people like way out of the boundaries. Like some guy in Pittsburgh found out about my beats, some guy in DC, Texas, like all of these places. They were like, I don't know how I found your SoundCloud, but these are great. Let me buy some. And it was like, I've never done this before. Yeah. Like, okay.
What do I do?
They're like, how much do you charge? And I was like,
good question.
How much do you usually pay?
What do you give out usually?
But so it's, I don't know, it's been really weird. I think it's like with this 8-bit project and with my music, like it's always been weird to make something that people like are attracted to and glom onto.
Yeah.
And you know, people buying beats or people buying 8-bit prints, like it's crazy that there are people who like it so much that they're like willing to put money behind it.
It's awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean like, so would it be any people that anyone would know that you like have given beats to and stuff, or like
locally? Probably. Yeah. There's a guy.
It's okay, you can brag a little bit.
Dude, shout out John Mosaic, everyone. What up? He's probably like my biggest supporter right now.
Awesome.
I got linked up with him through a friend of mine, Brad. He was Brad Knitter. He used to live here. We worked on a ton of music together, and he moved out to LA, and he introduced me to like a lot of people in the Milwaukee scene, which has been awesome.
Yeah.
And John and I, we work on music. Anytime I start a new beat, I'll like send him a Snapchat of it or send him a snippet file. And he's like, dude, I really like this, or I don't like this. How about this?
Yeah.
So he's a great guy to work on music with.
So like creatively, when you do start making that, is that like a completely different kind of, mindset and like the way you approach it rather than doing like your photography stuff? Is it a different kind of skill set? Like how do you start making a beat? That's what I'm always fascinated by. Because I've never made anything like that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like I constantly am listening to music.
Yeah.
Like even my wife sometimes is like, oh my God, are you like making breakfast?
Yeah.
You know, like
you don't need it all the time.
Brushing my teeth in the morning. She's like, I don't know how you listen to music this early. It's like, I do.
Just like it.
And I think through that, I'll like, think of sounds, think of ideas.
Sure.
And just keep a running catalog. And so when I get the time to sit down to make beats, it's like, I want to start this. I want to start on this. I want to start on this.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It just kind of comes in different ways depending on what it is. And so, you play the drums. Do you play any other instruments or?
Loosely, like if I sit down at a piano, like one hand, I can, mess around and make some melodies. But like the whole 2-hand on the piano thing, no. I can play like power chords on the guitar, but if you were like play a G note, I would be like,
yeah.
So I don't know. It's one of those things like I'll do it as long as people don't buy it. Like I'm still gonna make music.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's a good outlet.
It's the best way to be.
Yeah,
because you don't have to worry about it.
It's awesome that there are artists out there who do want to, and like even if they didn't, I would still do it.
So what was your band originally like? What kind of music did you guys play?
It was in high school, so it was just kind of like a awful garage like pop punk band. I don't know.
we were we compass all genres.
Yeah. It was and that's the thing too. I don't know, like the music I listen to
is it very eclectic?
I wouldn't say that there's nothing I won't listen to. I listen to everything from like jazz. I've started to get into country. I've never really been a big country fan, but like some classic country.
Yeah.
All the way to like punk, hardcore, metal.
Okay.
Shit ton of
literally
hip-hop,
everything.
Anything. Yeah, let me know. Yeah. If I like it, I will do like a deep dive into it.
Oh yeah.
And just listen to as much as I can. If not, I know instantly. It's like, no.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too. You know, you listen to a song for like, I usually say I can listen to it for 5 seconds and know if I like it or not.
Oh yeah.
It takes like literally no time. I'm like, oh, I like this, or oh no, I don't like it.
What do you listen to?
Oh, all sorts of stuff. Like pretty much everything besides heavy metal. That's kind of where, and mostly it's because I guess I don't really listen to like EDM music either that much, but
yeah, I guess that's the one that I don't get into either. Like, I don't know. Like, I would say my beats are like more electronic feeling, like chill electronic feeling, but like EDM.
So it's more of like a MGMT, less of a like Tiesto or something. Like insane. Like like
you know, I don't know. Like I have friends who are into like festivals and stuff, and I've been to a couple, and like I get the energy and like the atmosphere of going to listen to those songs, but like I don't think I could sit at my desk and just like womp, womp,
waiting for the drop. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's because I have anxiety already, so like that kind of music just makes me more anxious. Dude. So I'm like, and like that's kind of why the whole like EDM thing doesn't even appeal to me, because like my girlfriend, she literally went to I don't even know if they're EDM necessarily. Rufus de la Soul, is that how you say it?
I have no idea.
I don't know. It's like 3 dudes, and I think it's more EDM-y, but like she's like, do you want to come? And I'm like, no.
Yeah, right.
Like I do not want to be in a crowd.
Make a note of that. I'll listen to that on my way home.
Yeah, let me know what you think. But yeah, so I'm like, no, I do not want to go just because of the crowds and that music. I'll just have a freaking panic attack in there.
Oh, I don't blame you.
It's just too much, and all the smoke.
It's like the crowds, like it
can get rowdy. Yeah, but I think that's Rufus de la Soul. I think that's correct.
Yeah,
but yeah. So you kind of mentioned that you are a bit of a gamer.
Yeah.
Do you do like the Twitch streaming stuff like that, or no? Not into that?
No, you know, there's some like Twitch streamers that I watch. Like I really can appreciate the idea of Twitch streaming and like live streaming, but it's
not something you want to do.
I don't think I don't have enough time to dedicate to like sit and stream for several hours, you know, like on a regular basis.
Yeah, just being consistent about it and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I also feel like too, not that I would get boring to people, but it takes a certain kind of personality to fill up that much time.
Can you imagine 2 hours of camera straight on
interact with people and like focus on what you do? Like, I respect it, but
it's just so hard. And that's like what I feel like the main difference between like YouTube and that kind of stuff is like you can cut out all those dead bits and just like be on for like 10 minutes and that's all you need to do.
There are like streamers that I watch where people like, you know, in chat to be like, oh my God, you're so much funnier on YouTube. And the guy's like straight up, he's like, that's because you get 10 minutes of all the good parts of a like 6-hour stream, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
No one's funny for 3 hours straight.
Right.
Like comedians don't even do specials that long.
God. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just unrealistic. So what do you play? Like, what kind of games are you into besides like?
Yeah, man.
Super old school stuff. Do you play any new games or no?
I like the newest system I have is a PS3.
Okay, that's pretty new.
Yeah, like I mean, I went through a phase where I like played Call of Duty like pretty hardcore, the headset and everything. Makes me
so ill.
I know. I played it so
much. Not from
much,
a moral standpoint. I'm like, it's something to do with like being first person in the motion.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's those kind of games that get me so queasy.
Yeah, I played that hardcore for a while, and I think it just like burned out. But now it's, I don't know. I play like a lot of Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64.
I have to be wary with games because I like got super addicted to World of Warcraft for a long time.
Dude, I know a lot of people who are like, love it. Just get so deep into it, and it's like once you get that invested to a game, like it's hard not to get like keep going with it and like stay invested.
That's the problem. It'd be like I would come home from work and I would just play.
Yeah.
You know, and it was so fun and I couldn't stop myself. I'm like, I just have to not play anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I can't do it.
I think that's how it is for me too. I go in cycles of like I will play a video game hardcore, like very seriously, and then it's just like, ooh, step back.
I gotta get some things.
Lose some interest. Start on other stuff. But usually now it's like, I don't know, I'll play some stuff on my Game Boy, or Even like Super Mario 64, I like.
Yeah, but those games are nice because you can just come up and play for like 30 minutes and then walk away and be done.
Right, tool around and then just be like, all right, that was fun.
Yeah,
Let's go do some stuff. Like,
are you from Milwaukee?
The Midwest.
Okay.
I grew up in like Minnesota, Michigan.
Oh, you were all over?
Yeah.
Your parents move a lot, or?
Yeah, my dad.
Well, obviously, me as my. I moved as a kid.
Yeah, my dad got a couple new jobs, and I lived in Minnesota for like 7 or 8 years. I lived in Michigan for like 6 years.
Okay.
And then ended up here for school, and I've been here 10 plus years now.
Was there a specific place you liked the best? Like, if you were going to be like, this is my home, was there one that you...
Besides Milwaukee, I would say Milwaukee now for sure, but I would say Michigan because, I was in like middle school, high school during that time, so it was more of like...
It was more of a place you remembered.
Friends, I had, stuff that I could do without being like, Mom, can you drop me off?
Yeah. I heard Michigan was beautiful. Like,
Michigan's sick.
I've never gone, but...
Both Minnesota and Michigan are really sick. Northern Minnesota is probably like my favorite place to go camping or like mountain biking and stuff. It's insanely gorgeous. Michigan, there's just so much to do.
Yeah. Tim Allen tells me it all the time. Yeah. Pure Michigan.
Yeah, right.
Those
dude.
Michigan commercials.
I'm telling you, it's a sick state.
Yeah.
Even the UP in Michigan is gorgeous too.
Yeah, I have to make it there because a lot of the stuff that I like to do is like nature photography, outdoor kind of stuff. So
dude,
like that's the place to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you go camping a lot?
I don't.
Oh,
I'm not a big camper.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm just not. I would love to go out. I like to go out and shoot, and I could do it all day. But then I don't want to sleep on the ground.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Even if you don't camp, Split Rock Lighthouse. In Minnesota. Insane. It's like a gorgeous.
Is it on like the lake or something?
It's on the lake, northern Minnesota. It's so sick. Yeah. The whole drive up there, you have to go through like Duluth, which is a cool town.
Yeah.
Like it's awesome.
The thing about the Midwest is there's so many cities that are close, and I just don't take advantage of it. Like I could drive to like Minneapolis, never been there.
Really?
Or Cincinnati, or like there's a bunch of places.
I guess I've lucked out. When I was in school, my brother and his now wife, they were going to school in Chicago, so it was nice to like have an excuse to go to Chicago, check it out. And then they lived in Cincinnati, so it was a good excuse to go see them in Cincinnati. My wife's sister and her husband, like I grew up in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
But I was so young that, like...
Sure.
It was fun. It was a good experience, but I never like actually really got to experience the city.
Yeah.
And so we'll go back to see my wife's sister and her husband, and like, as an adult, get to go out and like go to dinner, check out bars, check out shops, like all this stuff. It's a sweet city.
Yeah. So besides the 8-bit and making beats, is there other stuff that you do on the side? It seems like you do a lot of stuff. You're a Renaissance man.
Yeah. I like biking. I bike a lot.
Oh, okay. Where have you biked? Like, have you gone to any intense like mountainous areas?
I wouldn't say anything that intense. For my bachelor party, my brother, my wife's brother, and her brother-in-law. Yeah. We went into Minnesota, and we did this sweet like camping mountain bike tour.
Oh, cool.
We like tore it up on these ATV trails. It was like super crazy, like sketchy, like flying through the woods downhill. Like it was fun, but I don't know. I have a mountain bike, a road bike.
Do you have the clip-in pedals? Because those have
I do
really done me dirty.
I just got them like this past summer.
Yeah,
because forever I was like, dude, I'm gonna be that guy.
Is so weird,
right? I'm gonna be that guy that gets to a stoplight and just eats it, like tips right over.
That was me, more than once.
It's oh my god,
because you start to panic. You can't get your feet out.
I know.
And
it's
then
like,
you're like yeah.
For me, it's like the selling point. My brother was like, dude, you try them once, you'll never go back. Trust me. And now that I rode a bike without my clips on, and I was like, why would I ever do this to myself? Yeah, like the clips are so nice.
Yeah, you can get a lot more. I don't know. Propulsion. Yeah, I don't know the right word for it, but yeah, it is better for just if you're actually a serious biker. But yeah, when I would go out on rides, because I used to speed skate, and so like for off season training. I would bike a lot. And yeah, I could just never get used to that. We would be at stoplights, and I'd try to get my foot out by turning it out, And
it's like that terrifying moment, right?
Yeah, you try harder.
You're looking around, you're like, everybody in traffic is looking over.
Yeah, I can't do anything. I'm sorry. Yeah,
oh my god, dude.
That was me though, for sure.
Yeah. We live out in Tosa, and so it's like I'll bike to work as much as I can.
Yeah.
The past 3 years, my brother and friends, we ride River West 24. Oh, nice. So it's just, I like biking.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, okay, so let's go back to the 8-bit MKE. Okay. So I had a couple more questions about, like, as far as, like, composition, because you were talking about that before, what are you looking for? Especially since you do regular photography, right? Like, I shouldn't say regular, but, like, with a camera and stuff. Right, yeah. So, like, how is that different comparatively? Because it is more pixelated, and the contrast is a little bit different.
Yeah. It's honestly, I think, from a high level, I try to look at, because right now I take pictures on my lunch break. When I'm at work, I'll go on lunch and I'll just cruise around as far into the city as I can within my hour and take whatever I can. But I think for me, it's like looking at what people might not see every day while they're walking through the city. Okay. Like a lot of times people, when you're walking, it's like, I got to go here, or I'm going to get coffee, or I'm doing this, and you aren't actually, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people just don't take in the city around them. So just trying to capture that, I guess.
Yeah, I think, because even when I walk around, I do that sometimes. I don't even realize it. Yeah. You're just trying to get to where you need to be.
Single track, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things I like so much about doing photography is that you can just kind of wander and you notice stuff that you maybe didn't see before.
You have zero purpose. You're just walking around, checking it out.
Yeah. Since you have been doing it for almost a year now, what has changed for you since like the beginning to now? Like, what do you feel is different about it? I mean, presumably you started with no followers and anything. And now what are you at?
Like 800 something, I think, like 850.
That's really good.
Which is sweet. Like, it's
for a year. That's really good.
It's an interesting mix of people because it's like 60-40. 60% like Milwaukee people, photographers. But then the other percent of it is like, because it is like video game related and pixel art related. Yeah. I have a lot of followers who are video game fans or pixel art fans. Yeah. And so it's like there's no connection to the city of Milwaukee whatsoever. Yeah. They just like the pixel art. They like the pictures. Yeah. So
what has been the coolest thing that you've got to experience because of that in this year? Man. Because you've been on the news, you've been on CBS 58, right? Yep. You've done, what did you do with them?
So, shout out Pauline. She shot me a message on Instagram, was like, just came across your profile. I think this is awesome. Would you be interested in like us swinging by and doing a story on it? Yeah. And I was like,
well, of course. Yeah, okay. For sure. Yeah.
And so, same thing. Like we spent some time over lunch, and to be honest, like originally I thought it was just going to be like an online piece. I didn't realize that like they showed up, the dude had the camera, tripod, like all this stuff.
Oh yeah, like he was ready to go.
And and so we spent an hour just like walking around, same thing, like just talking about the project. And
does that stuff make you nervous? Like, is there a certain forum that you like are kind of more nervous about, like doing news? Is that nervous at all? Or because it wasn't live, presumably, right?
I think because it wasn't live, it was a little, like there were some questions that she would ask, and she would be like, okay, let's do that one again. It's like, okay.
All right. But do you want me to do it differently?
Ooh, I don't know. I think that would be a different story.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, I don't know. It's probably similar with this podcast of like reaching out to people and talking to people about it. I think if it's like something that you're passionate about, it kind of helps with like the anxiousness of just like
because you know what you're gonna say. You're not making stuff up. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But I think the live thing for me is always a little bit harder to do.
Yeah. Because I think it goes back to that Twitch streaming thing of like
you're just there's a certain
always
expectation.
Being on. There's expectations of just like constantly trying to figure out, like what to do, what to talk
about. Yeah. Now what do I do? I can't edit this out. I just have to sit here and And that happens when things go poorly too.
Right.
Yeah. There was a radio station I worked at before where essentially this guy was super excited to start working as an on-air person, and his first shift, he like tore the station up. It like he deleted like tons of songs, like messed up a bunch of programs, and he got fired. Like,
oh my god!
Like the day of, like
sorry,
starting.
Guy.
so like that can happen too, and that's kind of like my worst fear.
Oh yeah.
Not that I feel like he was just probably bad at doing that, so like it snowballed. But like that doing live stuff like that, like radio and sometimes television, is like. It's a scary.
Constantly being on, constantly being prepared.
I just get like sweaty.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's my problem.
I like doing. I like to do things in my own time, and so it's like, I would much rather shoot a video and then edit it and like really craft it rather than just like, okay, now what?
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any aspirations for that kind of stuff? Like, do you want to kind of move to other forms of art, I guess? I shouldn't put quotes because I do that.
Yeah, I mean,
like, do you want to do video stuff? Is there any like ideas that?
Yeah, I think with 8-bit specifically, there are a couple of local artists that I'm like starting to work through some ideas. One is this guy, Lucas Seidel. He's a graphic designer.
Yeah, I saw some.
Yeah, he reached out and he's like, I'm a designer. I think this stuff is awesome. I'd really love to like get coffee and just like talk about how we could combine like your pictures and my design elements.
I love that stuff. That just people just reached out and wanted to create stuff. That's so cool.
And I honestly, like, back to your previous question, I think one of the coolest things from this is this right here. Is meeting you, meeting Lucas, meeting this like other artist Augie. We're like putting together an art zine of like
that never would have
similar
happened.
to your podcast. It is. It's like there are so many cool people in the city that I've never met, and through this 8-bit project, like it's just really cool meeting other passionate, talented, creative people.
Yeah, like yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it is. It's like I don't know. It's like a community that's always been there. And like to finally get to meet some cool creative people in the city, like
and I was talking about this with someone before. It's like Milwaukee seems to be a very supportive place for like creative people. Where it's not like because I lived in Los Angeles for a while, and that is the very
cutthroat. I can't even imagine.
Opposite. It's like everybody's using you for something, and like nobody is genuinely wanting you to succeed. Like they want to succeed.
It's tough.
Where here, it's like the exact opposite, where it's like everybody wants to support you and they want to do cool stuff too. And maybe they want to do it with you and help you out.
Absolutely.
It's just it's a nice vibe.
It is. And I think it's because it is in LA, it is in Chicago, it is in New York.
Yeah.
I love Milwaukee because like the people are just so nice. They're interesting. It's like, it has the big city feel to it, but it also has that like hometown,
like
we're small
close-knit communities. Yeah, exactly.
No, I really appreciate just the aspect of collaboration. Like, people are doing cool stuff in this city. It's like, oh, you are too? Let's do cool stuff together.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
So, is there any like funny stories you have from having this 8-bit? Has people like recognize you, or like you got a weird photo from someone accidentally? I
think it's a mix. Like there have been a couple people,
because it's hard to recognize you unless they have seen like videos and things like that.
When I was shooting the video with MK Misfits, there was a girl that was walking by and she was like, "Oh my god, you're that Game Boy guy. I follow you on Instagram." And I was like, cool. That's me. It's nice to meet you. Like, oh, what's going on? Like, but the other side of it then is like, when I used to go out, I used to like I said, I listened to a lot of music. I used to always have headphones in while I was out walking around. But I've stopped doing that because there are people on the street who will be like, "Are you just playing Game Boy? What are you doing? Like standing on the street street corner playing Game Boy?" And it's like, "No, I'm I'm taking pictures. It's a camera. Do you want to take a picture?" And they're like, no way. Yeah, okay, yeah, why not? Yeah. Like, and then, you know, it's so I think that aspect of it. I was at Up Down, that like barcade on Brady.
Right down the street.
Yeah, with a buddy of mine over the weekend, and I had my Game Boy. I was like taking pictures of the pinball machine, and this lady was like, "What is that? That's a Game Boy, but like what is that
the
thing?"
Cartridge.
I was like, "It's a camera. Do you want to take a picture?" And she's like, yeah, that's crazy."
Yeah.
So it's just I love that. Like part of it is that it's unique and it's like
engaging.
People are like, "Oh, what is this? Like, what is that?" And it's like, let me tell you about my like 8-bit Instagram. You know, like So,
do you get followers from that? I would assume. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every now and then, I think it's 9 times out of 10 people are on Instagram.
Yeah.
I picked it because it's like this project is so visual and it's easy to post on Instagram. I have a Twitter account for it, but it's pretty much just copy and pasting the caption in the same photo.
What I did when I had Twitter.
But I don't know. I've thought about a Facebook page, but even then, it's like it's too much.
Oh man, Facebook has given me nothing but trouble recently.
I
tried to get back because I did like a social media hiatus.
Good for you.
I was off for 2 months.
Good for you.
It was very nice, and but. So when I try to come back, because like my Facebook was deleted, every time I try to make a Facebook, they flag my account. They're like, "Oh, you're not who you say you are."
Yeah, you already exist. Like, you already
in our database, even though you don't have a profile anymore.
Totally, dude.
And so every time I try to make a profile, they would like disable my account, and I couldn't get it back.
Yeah.
And it was just a headache. And finally, I have one, but like I made about 7 before I could get one.
I was like very late to the Facebook game. Like I don't know, it was like when it first, because before it was like my brother had one when he was in college, but that was like only when you could have it if you were in college. Like you had to have like the EDU email. Yeah. And so I was like, I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
And so then it was like didn't make one, and then I made one, and then I never used it. And I was like interviewing for like a social media marketing internship. And they were like, "We noticed you don't have a Facebook. You're going to need one to like
do your job,
do client stuff for, And they were like, "Are you willing to create one?" And I was like, "For a job? You? Yeah, okay, I guess." Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, of course." And so like even now though, I mean, my own personal Facebook, like I don't really use it.
I never posted that much. No. It was more just to have it, just in case I
like to see what my friends are up to keep in touch, but like I rarely post. And when I do, it's like, music I'm listening to or
I always feel like my Facebook just becomes like a self-promotion page.
Easily.
Because like I don't post much on my social media stuff unless it's about something that I'm doing or something that I think is cool that's happening. So it becomes like, I don't think a good page for people to follow. They just unfollow me.
Well, and that's why fine, it's like
whatever.
an 8-bit Facebook page is just like one more thing to have to handle, worry about, whatever. It's like Instagram on my phone, done and done. Yeah. Easy. Like,
do you worry about like posting consistently? Like, do you feel like you have to?
No, I don't feel like I have to. I post once a day at like around noon, 1 o'clock.
Oh, it's that consistent?
Monday through Friday.
I didn't realize it was that consistent.
Yeah, I try to go out over lunch as much as I can and take, I have only 30 photos to take at a time, but I try and take as many as I can at a time. And personally for me, it's because it's like winter. I'm sure I'm not going to want to walk around and take photos of stuff. So it's like, how much can I stockpile before winter comes and I don't run out of stuff to take. But I don't know. I feel like I'm taking enough all the time that, Monday through Friday, once a day.
And it's still interesting to you, which is good.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the music conversation. Like, it took a year for it to catch on, and even the fact that it did catch on is awesome. But like, I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah,
even if interest wanes and like whatever, I'm still gonna go take pictures with it. I think it's sick.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So back to the music. If you let's just say give the top 3 people you're listening to right now. Like, who are your favorite artists?
Ooh,
they don't have to be local.
Let me open up my Spotify.
Give people some new artists and some new people to listen to.
One of my favorites of all time, Currency. Rapper out of New Orleans.
No.
Freddie Gibbs. Another rapper. He's out of Gary, Indiana. He's like, I don't know, he's pretty thug.
He's probably the pride of Gary, Indiana.
Probably.
I don't know many
Scary
people coming
Indiana.
out. Yeah.
What else? Brockhampton. Have you ever heard of the group Brockhampton?
They're a group?
Yeah, it's
I'm like 80 years old. They're a group?
Yeah, no, it's like I randomly heard them like a while ago, and I was like, oh, this song's really great. Looked it up and like found a YouTube video of one of their concerts, and it's like 7 guys on stage. They call themselves like the modern boy band, and it's like,
are they like a boy band? Do they dance?
No, but they like have a couple dudes who sing in the group.
Okay.
A couple dudes who rap in the group. Guys who play like all the instruments. The production, like the beats, are so good. They're so artistic. Like the lyrics, the content, like the actual, like rapping styles and singing, like it's very artistic. Like it's really good music.
That's a good kind of segue, because like, who do you pull inspiration from, like when you do all this kind of stuff? Is it from all different mediums? Music,
photography? Movies, photography, pretty much anything.
So what movies are you like really inspire you? Because I'm not a big movie guy. I don't really watch that much.
I mean, it's like pretty much a 50-50 split of like documentaries versus fiction. I watch a lot of documentaries. I watch like, Shaun of the Dead. Kind of like,
those are classics.
Yeah, classics. Comedies are great. I'm like, action movies, I would tend to fall in towards like the more like classic, like Die Hard.
Sure, not like Iron Man or something.
The DC Marvel movies are movies I've never been able to get into.
I just don't really like superheroes that much to care.
I think that's what it is. I'm not a superhero guy. I've never really been a comic book guy.
Yeah.
And so it's like I think part of it is I don't understand like the lore in some of the movies where it's like
some of it is so intense.
It's like
I got to read a book before I don't
get this reference. I don't get this. What else, man?
But a lot of the stuff that I'm like pulling inspiration from, especially these days, is like older things. Like I want to go more lo-fi. Like I want to shoot in with like, I've been trying to figure out ways to find like old VHS camcorders and shoot with that, just to figure out how to like edit that kind of footage and stuff.
Good spot is like a Goodwill. If you go to a Goodwill, they have a lot of like the micro tape cameras. Stupid cheap micro tape you can get anywhere. I don't even know what I would do with it. I just kind of want it. I've always been that way too with like a GoPro. I like the idea of a GoPro. I like the idea of like easily shooting and capturing stuff. But then after that, it's like, what do I do with this? I edit this whole thing together. What do I do?
So I have all this footage. And I don't know it's just going to sit around. So that's kind of how I feel about all that old stuff. Like I want to start shooting on that kind of stuff, but I have no idea for what reason. I think it's just nostalgia, because like when I started shooting video and stuff, it was on like VHS,
right?
Straight to VHS camcorders and stuff like that, and we used to make like skits and stuff on there.
Man, I don't know, like going back to music, like a lot of music videos these days have that like lo-fi, like kind of grunge look to them.
I feel like, with all that stuff, they shoot on such high quality cameras and then like low grade the footage afterwards. But yeah, I mean, that's something that I'd be interested in. From a young age, were you just creating a bunch of stuff? Like, were you a very creative kid?
Yeah, I mean, I like first started getting into like music and photography probably, I would say photography probably earlier. My dad always had a camera. And so it was always like, go take some pictures. We'd go camping a lot, and he'd bring his camera and it'd be like, to like this like forest, take a picture. Yeah. Try it out. Like even if it turns out awful, like try it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'd say my parents were really good at just like encouraging us to like find something we're into and just try until you find something that you really are passionate about. In high school, I started playing the drums and took like all the photography and design classes I could. Yeah. Just to, you know, try it out. And it was like, this is awesome. I like being creative. Like, kind of like that creation of something that is solely mine. Like, when I play the drums, I can play whatever I want. Yeah. But that, like, I played it. I did that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think the whole process of just like learning something new, and it also for me, like when I edit videos, it's like the components of like I did this, you know, at the end, like you have all these different blocks. Oh yeah. And you could give the same footage to 30 different people and it'll all come out differently. Yep. And I think that's amazing. You know, that can happen. And you know, it just, people are pretty cool.
There's a DJ, man, I'll have to see if I can find this and send it to you, but there's this DJ that does something similar where it's like he takes 3 producers and they all get the same record to sample and make beats with. Oh. And then they go through the process of each one making their beat, and then at the end they like show like,
and they're all different.
How they're all different. It's like you have one record and you made 3 completely different songs from this one record.
That's really cool.
It's sick.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. I think that's what like creativity boils down to. It's like what you think is awesome, what you think is great, you can go and do it today. Yeah. And have a finished product and say like, I made this. Yeah. What are you making? Let's, you know, like.
Yeah. I think people, like back to the whole APEC thing, people get so caught up in the technology of it, or what are you shooting on? Like, what are you using? It's like, I feel like a lot of people get like, they just stop because they're like, oh, I don't have a good enough camera to make quality images.
I don't have money to go out and buy the latest and greatest whatever, yada,
and you don't need it. You can just go out and do it. You know, just start doing it.
$10-15, you can get a GameBoy Camera.
Yeah, and then you could be the next 8-bit.
Yeah,
just go to a different city.
Yeah, I have my buddy Phil. He like has been kicking around the idea of even like doing disposable cameras. Yeah, buy a disposable camera, shoot with it, see what you get. Yeah. Why not?
It's going to come back eventually. Polaroids are back. I mean, disposable cameras will come back.
It is. I'm like such a firm believer. Even like you're saying about like finding a cheap VCR camcorder, like it's going to take video. Yeah. Like it might not be ultra HD like some of the cameras now, but like you can still shoot video with it. Yeah. You can shoot the same stuff.
You don't need all the technology in the world to make a compelling story or like do something interesting and creative. In fact, most of the times it's when you don't have that stuff that it is even more interesting and more creative as you do.
And I think that's what it is. It's like it is that push. Like I could walk around with my Nikon and take pictures. I could walk around with my phone and take nice pictures. But it's like anybody can do that. Yeah. I think like the push of really trying to like
do something different.
Push myself, challenge myself, and use something that is unique and forces you to challenge yourself. Yeah, I think it's part of the process.
Yeah, I gotta find like a Sega camera or something.
You know, it's funny you say that. I don't think I've ever looked into like, if any other game like
I don't even know if I can name one.
The Game Boy Camera is like the only one that I know of that.
What was the original use for that? What you're doing? Yeah, pretty much.
Take pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there used to be a webcam you could put on a Game Boy, or maybe that was something different.
I mean, it kind of looks like a webcam.
Yeah.
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 But no, I don't know. But it's like the Game Boy Camera itself is wonky because it's like after you take pictures, you can add like stickers. They're like googly eyes and like all this wonky stuff that you can put on the pictures. There are like mini games. There's one where it's like a guy juggling and you like moving back and forth to juggle. Yeah. There's a music sequencer. Like you can make like, it's called like chiptune, like video game music in it. And so, I mean, you can shoot time lapse. You can shoot like
you can shoot
panoramas. Yeah, dude. It's like,
wow, they're innovative. And I did not know any of this stuff existed on
and
there.
So it's like one of those things. At first I was like, okay, this would be cool to shoot pictures with. And then it's like, I could shoot time lapse. I can make music on this. I can play games on like this self-contained. It's like for coming out in like 95 or 96, like it's
pretty crazy.
It's pretty impressive. Like, it's pretty impressive.
I've seen the videos. Have you shot any time lapses with it?
That's what those are. So like
those are
short, like 4 second. Yeah. So you basically, you could set it, you know, it holds 30 pictures. You could set it to shoot however many pictures you want at like a specific interval. If you want to take
pretty crazy.
A picture every 2 seconds for 30 pictures, you can do that.
Wow.
The ones that I do, I set, you know, I shoot all 30 pictures, just picture. And then I'll take those pictures, put them in like iMovie, and then scrunch them down to play, you know, as low as like, I think it's like 0.1 seconds per picture.
Yeah.
And just do it that way. It comes out to like 4 seconds of like video, quote unquote. But even too lately, I'll like record video on my phone and then take that audio and put it over the time lapse. So it's like the audio of that recording.
That's pretty cool.
It didn't record off the Game Boy, but it's like, I don't know, it's like field recording. You know? It gives another layer to it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just, you don't really think of all that back end stuff, you know, when you're looking at stuff on Instagram or even pictures or videos in general. Well, like I would never have known that that's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's convenient that I get an hour for lunch because it's like, you know, Monday I'll go out, shoot a bunch of pictures. Tuesday I might stay in and like get them all ready and set and just ready to be posted and store them away, or I'll, you know, make my time lapse stuff. But
yeah,
it's pretty sweet.
Do you find it like pretty therapeutic to walk around it and just shoot with it? It is.
I think it goes back to that idea of like when you go out to shoot pictures, you have no direction. Where it's like, oh, you know, like today I'm going to go to the art museum and take pictures. Yeah. I know I'm going there. Yeah. But I might take a bunch of pictures on my way there.
Yeah, and find a better one before you get there.
Yeah. And take a bunch on the way back.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's kind of how I am. I was like, no, I'm the exact opposite of that. Whereas like I just kind of wander, and most of the time, the stuff I shoot or the stuff I, you know, don't plan is like, oh, that's my favorite one. Like I like that one better than.
Yeah, I think, you know, there are certain situations, like my brother Trevor, like they're into like astrophotography.
Oh, so like long exposure shots.
Long exposures, like the set up and all of that is so
bring
intense.
your tripod out to a field and just shoot the stars.
And it's so sick. Like I get in some instances like the preparation and the dedication, like worth it because it's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, for me, it's like I'm just gonna walk around. If I see something I like, I'm gonna take a picture because I like it. You know?
Exactly. Like if I start to bring a tripod places,
I know
I'm gonna be all sweaty and it's not gonna be fun anymore.
Yeah, too much work.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So your Instagram is 8bit, the number 8, 8bit MKE. Where can people find your? If there's any rappers or any musical artists listening, where can they find your?
I have a SoundCloud. But I haven't updated it in a while.
Well, they can have old ones. They can have old beats.
It's soundcloud.com/paper_wolf.
Okay. Why that?
I don't know. I had like this idea in mind.
It's a really cool name. I like it.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. It just sounds cool. I think it was like in my mind I had as like my producer logo was like this like cool like polygonal multicolored wolf, and I talked to my friend who's a designer and I was like, hey, can you do this? And she's like, is this cool? And I was like, this is perfect. Yeah. And it just stuck. I don't know, like yeah
that's a cool name.
Yeah.
So Paper Wolf on SoundCloud. I'm gonna look that up when you leave.
Let me know, man. And I'm probably gonna go home and work on some music.
Yeah, see if I might start my career now,
dude. Let me know. Anytime if you want to learn how to make beats, let me know.
I feel like it's a lot more complicated than that. I'm going to need a lot of sessions.
Oh my God. Only one way to start, man.
Yeah. You just got to try. I'd really like to do like comedy songs. That'd be fun to do.
Oh. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Dude. The problem is I have too many ideas. You know, and
yeah, I totally know what you mean.
Some things need to take priority.
Yeah, I think that's like how this 8-bit thing came to be. It was like I've had so many projects over the years that like spark up, kind of get some steam rolling behind them and fall by the wayside. And it's like I was just tired of doing and going through that, of like getting amped up about a project and having it fizzle out. And like for me, it's like I'm always going to walk around the city and appreciate the city, and I'm always going to be taking pictures of it. So I can't see this going anywhere anytime soon,
exactly.
Like,
yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I've started so many things and just been like stopped, for no reason other than just like I have another idea.
I'm done. Yeah.
I got this idea now.
And it's so crazy too, because I think about it, it's like a lot of those projects I'm sure you put like so much time and effort into, and then one day it's just like I'm over it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Where
and
did
it's
that
like,
come
and
from?
I don't know why. I'm just done.
Yeah, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah,
which is weird because I cared a lot like 2 weeks ago.
I don't know. I don't know why that happens.
Yeah, I think it's just I think with me at least, speaking from personal experience, a lot of the projects that I decided to stop or just like didn't care about anymore, I might have not done them necessarily all because I just wanted to do them. There was some of that, but then there was also more of it like, I think this will be cool, or I think this will be popular, or I think people will really respond to this. Yeah. Which is a bad idea to go that way, because
it forces things.
That just happens, The
best stuff happens when you, like I said, it's like when you are just passionate about it. Yeah. And just passionate about doing it. It doesn't matter like if people glom onto it, if they like it or whatever. Like, it's something I like to do. Yeah. If people love it, great. If not,
because when you don't get the followers or the likes or the listens that you want,
right? Then you're like, back to the drawing board.
All right, well, screw this project.
Right.
Yeah, because you didn't really care in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, thanks for joining me today.
Not a problem. This was awesome. Yeah. I can't wait. I seriously, when you reached out, I was like, this is such a great idea.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear who you talk to, because I love it. I love it.
Anybody and anyone.
I'll spread the word.
So yeah,
I'll spread the word.
And I haven't met anybody probably that So yeah, bring them all.
I got you.
Yeah, it's always interesting just to hear another person's perspective, or just to hear someone else's story, and like, I just think it's cool. Dude. Everyone's so different.
Yeah,
and it's very interesting to me.
I'm telling you, man. Like, the world's a big place. Milwaukee, even though it feels like a small city, like,
there's a lot of people here.
How would I have ever crossed your path? We may not have,
Never,
like,
no.
Like I said, ultimately, I think that's what the best thing about this project is just meeting other awesome people in the city I probably would have never met. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Well, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Check out your music. Check out your Instagram. If you live in Milwaukee, I'm sure you'll... I've never ran into you.
I'll be around. Yeah. If you see a guy with a Game Boy, it's probably me.
Yeah. Come up, say hi.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.